What if everything you believe about who you are is the greatest illusion ever staged? 800 years ago, a mystic made a claim so radical that it's still considered dangerous. The mirror doesn't show you your reflection, it shows you God's face. Ibn Arabi wasn't speaking metaphorically. He meant this literally. And once you understand what he discovered, you'll never look in a mirror the same way again. His name was Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi, and they called him the greatest master. But what made him so dangerous wasn't his knowledge. It was his willingness to speak a truth that shatters every assumption about who you think you are. Look into any mirror right now. What do you see? You see a face, a body, features you call yours. But Ibn Arabi would tell you that what you're seeing is the most profound illusion ever staged. Because according to him, there is no you looking back. There never was. The servant is the mirror of the real, he wrote, and the real is the mirror of the servant. But this isn't poetry. This is the hidden architecture of existence itself. Think about what a mirror actually does. It doesn't create anything new. It simply reflects what's placed before it. The mirror has no agenda, no personality, no desires of its own. It's pure receptivity. It doesn't judge what it reflects. It doesn't prefer beauty over ugliness, light over darkness. It simply shows what is. Now, Ibn Arabi asks the question that changes everything. What if that's exactly what you are? What if everything you call your thoughts are actually reflections of something infinite thinking through you? What if your emotions are the movements of divine qualities expressing themselves in the form you call yourself? What if your consciousness is simply the one consciousness appearing to be many? This is what Ibn Arabi discovered in his deepest contemplations. You are not a separate being having experiences. You are the mirror in which the divine experiences itself. But here's where it gets even more mind-bending. Ibn Arabi said that just as you cannot see your own face without a mirror, God cannot know himself except through creation. And the most perfect mirror, the human being. I was a hidden treasure and I wanted to be known, so I created the world, says the sacred hadith. But Ibn Arabi took this further. He said that this creation, this mirroring, is happening right now, in this moment, through you. Every thought arising in your mind, every feeling in your heart, every sensation in your body, all of it is the divine coming to know aspects of himself that can only be known through the unique angle of reflection that you provide. This is why he called the human being the perfect mirror, al-Insan al-Kamil. Not because we're better than other creatures, but because we can reflect all of God's qualities simultaneously. We can know mercy and justice, beauty and majesty, gentleness and power, all within a single consciousness. A rock reflects divine stability. A flower reflects divine beauty. Fire reflects divine power. But only the human mirror can reflect the divine quality of consciousness knowing itself. Only through human awareness can the divine experience what it means to seek, to long, to question, to doubt, and ultimately to remember. But here's the tragedy. Most of us live as if we're the reflection and forget that we're the mirror. We become so fascinated with the image that we think we are the image. It's like a mirror falling in love with the reflection it shows and forgetting it's a mirror. Ibn Arabi tells a story that will change how you see yourself forever. He says, imagine you're walking down a street and you see your reflection in a storefront window. For a moment, you don't recognize yourself. In that split second before recognition, what do you see? You see another person, someone mysterious, unfamiliar. That moment of non-recognition, that's the closest you've ever come to seeing yourself as you really are. Because you, as you think you know yourself, is a story you've been telling about the reflection. But the mirror itself, the mirror is pristine, empty, luminous awareness, reflecting whatever appears. This is why spiritual practice, according to Ibn Arabi, isn't about improving yourself or becoming someone better. It's about polishing the mirror until the reflection becomes so clear that you see what was always being reflected, a face of the divine. When the mirror of the heart becomes pure and clear, he wrote, images of the infinite appear within it. But here's the secret within the secret. The mirror was never dirty. Your true nature, that pure, aware presence that you are beneath all thoughts and feelings, has never been stained or diminished. What we call spiritual growth is simply the removal of the dust of forgetfulness. Think about it. When you clean a mirror, you don't improve the mirror's ability to reflect. You simply remove what was obscuring its natural clarity. The mirror doesn't become more mirror-like. It reveals what it always was. Every time you judge yourself, you're judging the reflection and forgetting you're the mirror. Every time you're proud of an achievement, you're taking credit for what's being reflected through you. Every time you feel separate from others, you're seeing multiple mirrors instead of recognizing the one light being reflected everywhere. Ibn Arabi had a realization that shook him to his core. I thought I was seeing God, but I discovered that God was seeing through me. In that moment, the seeker and the sought collapsed into one reality. This is what he meant when he wrote those radical words that scandalized the scholars. There is nothing in existence but God. Not because everything is literally God in some pantheistic sense, but because everything that exists is a reflection, a manifestation, a mirror showing different aspects of the one reality. You are not separate from what you're seeking. You are the very means by which the divine seeks to know itself. Your longing for truth, your search for meaning, your desire for connection, all of it is the divine longing to know itself through the particular angle of reflection that only you can provide. But this knowledge changes everything. When you truly understand that you are a mirror, you stop trying to change the reflection and start focusing on the clarity of the mirror itself. You stop asking, what do I want? And start asking, what wants to be reflected through me? This is the station Ibn Arabi called the perfect human, al-Insan al-Kamil. Not a human being who has achieved perfection, but one who has become a perfect mirror so clear and receptive that the divine qualities flow through without distortion. In your anger, divine justice is being reflected. In your compassion, divine mercy appears. In your creativity, divine beauty manifests. In your longing, divine love expresses itself. You are not the author of these qualities. You are their perfect mirror. And here's where Ibn Arabi's teaching becomes revolutionary. If you are a mirror reflecting the divine, then every experience, pleasant or painful, is sacred. The moments of joy reflect divine beauty. The moments of struggle reflect divine testing. The moments of confusion reflect divine hiddenness. The moments of clarity reflect divine manifestation. Nothing in your life is random. Nothing is meaningless. Every experience is the divine coming to know itself through the unique prism of your consciousness. But this doesn't mean you're passive. Ibn Arabi taught that while you are a mirror, you also have the responsibility to keep that mirror clean. Through dhikr, through contemplation, through surrender, through service, you polish the mirror of your heart until it becomes so transparent that the divine light shines through without obstruction. Here's the most beautiful part. Every other person you meet is also a mirror reflecting the same divine reality, but from their unique angle. This is why Ibn Arabi said, "Do not praise yourself and do not blame another, for you are both mirrors of the same light." The person who irritates you is reflecting a divine quality you haven't learned to appreciate. The person you admire is showing you a divine quality you're ready to recognize. The person you fear is mirroring a divine aspect you haven't yet integrated. Everyone is your teacher, because everyone is a reflection of the same source you are. This understanding transforms how you see conflict, relationships, and even your own struggles. You're not dealing with separate people with separate agendas. You're witnessing the infinite creativity of the divine expressing itself through countless mirrors, each showing a different facet of the same jewel. Ibn Arabi describes a moment in his life when this recognition became complete. He was in contemplation when suddenly he realized that every face he had ever seen, friend or enemy, beautiful or ugly, familiar or strange, was the same face appearing in different forms. The face of the beloved looking back at itself through infinite eyes. "I used to blame my friend for not knowing me," he wrote. "Then I realized I was the one who didn't know him. Every face is his face, veiled by its own existence." So the next time you look in a mirror, remember what Ibn Arabi discovered. You're not seeing your reflection. You're seeing the face of the infinite appearing in the form of what you call yourself. The mirror doesn't lie. It's showing you exactly what you are, the place where the divine comes to know itself. And in that recognition, the ancient spiritual search ends, because what you were seeking was seeking you. What you were trying to find was never lost. You are not a person looking for God. You are the mirror in which God sees his own face. The mirror that shows your true self reveals that there is no self separate from the self of all selves. And once you see this, you understand why Ibn Arabi's teaching was considered so dangerous. It doesn't just change how you see yourself, it changes how you see everything. Because if you are a mirror of the divine, then so is everything else. The person who annoys you, the situation that challenges you, the world that seems broken, all of it is the one reality appearing in infinite forms, seeking to know itself through every possible reflection. This is the secret of the sacred mirror. Not that it shows you who you are, but that it reveals who you have always been, the very means by which love contemplates its own infinite beauty. And perhaps, most profoundly, Ibn Arabi realized that this recognition is itself a divine quality being reflected. The moment you understand that you are a mirror, that understanding is the divine becoming conscious of its own nature through you. Even the awakening is a reflection. In this endless play of mirrors, reflecting mirrors, there is only one reality appearing as many. One consciousness knowing itself through countless perspectives. One love discovering its own depth through every heart that opens to truth. You are that mirror. You have always been that mirror. And the face looking back at you from every surface, every relationship, every moment of existence is the face you have been longing to see all along.